medicine, we usually think of hospitals, high-tech machines, and drugs. But medicine started quite a while ago. For a very long time, humans have been inventing tools and using natural resources to heal others. Medicine cures many diseases and ailments of the body, in turn saving lives. But as it progressed over time, has it developed into a curse as well? In most civilizations, illnesses and diseases were at first thought to be caused by gods, and so they prayed to the gods to heal them. But over time, people began to develop medicine to deal with sickness. The early snow civilization in ancient India started around 2500 BCE in the Indus Valley. It is uncertain about their early medicine, but we do know that by at least 326 BCE, when Alexander the Great came across the Indus Valley, they were well advanced in it. In ancient India, there were very harsh laws regarding criminals. If they were found guilty, the judge could order for the criminal to have body parts cut off. Also, they stretched their earlobes and pierced them as it was thought to be beautiful. Their dangling ears would get caught in things, and it was not uncommon for earlobes to rip open. Because of these situations, the Hindus developed procedures for treating disfigurement, or as it's known now, plastic surgery. They would cut skin near the wound in a U shape, making it like a flap. Then they sewed the free end over the damaged part of the skin. This is the pedicle flap technique, and some procedures now are based on this. They also had procedures for when intestines would be cut, usually in battle or by animals. Stitching was ineffective because liquids would seep through the incision, causing horrible infections. So they collected Bengali ants before the surgery. Bengali ants have incredibly strong jaws and bite down on basically anything. An ant was placed at the start of the cut, and it would clamp down its jaws. Ants were placed all along the incision so that it closed. Then the ants' bodies would be cut off, leaving the head to keep the cut closed. The intestines were put back, and the wound would eventually heal. Then the immune system would destroy the ants. Now we have stapling, a very similar procedure, but with steel staples instead of ants. So we owe the ancient Indians for developing some of the surgeries that we perform now. Hippocrates was a Greek physician, born around 460 BCE on the island of Kos. He didn't believe that the gods were the cause of diseases, like so many of the other Greeks in his time, and so he studied medicine. He taught at the medical school of Kos and wrote many books on medicine, as well as advice to doctors. He is believed to be the father of medicine because he basically created medicine as a profession. Medicine has definitely come a long way. Although it has saved countless lives, it also has its downsides. Recently, medicine has been becoming extremely expensive in the United States. Medicine has begun to increase in price by about 10% annually, according to Time.com. Also, a report from the House of Representatives in 2014 showed that a year before, 10 generic drugs experienced price hikes, ranging from 420% to 8,000%. One drug that has become way too expensive is Daraprim, used by cancer and AIDS patients. It increased from $13.50 to $750. Sadly, people have no choice but to pay the cost for these overpriced drugs, because they could die if they don't. Bernie Sanders said, "It is unacceptable that the monthly cost of cancer drugs has more than doubled over the last 10 years to $9,990. In the United States of America, you should not be forced into bankruptcy for being diagnosed with cancer." Another example of the rising cost in medicine are EpiPens. EpiPens are injections that contain a drug called epinephrine. It is used by people with allergies to loosen muscles and stop swelling. A story on CNN.com showed that a woman named Theresa Ray would have to pay around $1,300 for a two-pack. 5 years prior, it cost them only $100 to $150, and she had thought that was expensive. As you can see, they are getting more pricey by the year. Another quote from Bernie Sanders is, "Americans should not have to live in fear that they will go bankrupt if they get sick." Medicine being overpriced isn't the only problem. People now misuse drugs. They take more than their prescription or use drugs even if they are not sick. This causes many deaths and problems all over the world, but more specifically in America. Marijuana or cannabis is the most commonly used illegal substance. It increases your heart rate, impairs your memory, learning, concentration, and coordination. It is also harmful to your lungs. In addition, if you are a heavy user, your IQ can go down. However, not only illegal drugs are being misused. Prescribed medicines are also causing many issues. Using these the wrong way can lead to addiction and overdose, which is lethal. People mistake them for being completely safe because they are prescribed, but that is not true. Some very commonly abused prescription drugs are opioids. Opioids are a drug prescribed to patients, mostly for chronic pain. Some types of opioids are oxycodone, fentanyl, codeine, morphine, and methadone. A potential risk when using them is dependence or addiction. Dependence is when you start to feel withdrawal symptoms when not using the drug, such as restlessness, sleep problems, and vomiting. Continued use of the drugs leads to addiction and overdosing. Overdosing on opioids can make your body stop breathing, leading to death. This not just applies to opioids, but many other drugs. I think that medicine is a great and powerful tool. When used right, it is a gift that saves lives. However, it became a curse because people chose to make it so. Medicine is being abused, and a lot of people who really need it can't afford it. If we use our resources the right way and provide for those who need it, medicine can become a gift once more.